Hey, it's the old man again. Family, that's our word for the day, family. And you're here at Bob's Daily Devo. Get it in your hand now. I keep saying the other one, even though today's a big day. Family. I wrote in the Twitter today that starting a family is challenging. It's a real challenge. I mean, and there's no doubt about it, it's a challenge. It's not easy to have a family. It's sometimes it's easier. I'm a single man. I live up in the mountains. Nobody tell me nothing. I do what I want to do. I do what I want to do. I don't have to wear nothing I don't want to wear. I have to eat nothing I don't want to eat. I do whatever I want. I'm an independent, free person. Yeah. All bound up in my habits and my sins and my selfishness and my pride. Yeah. Yo ho, yo ho. It's a pirate's life for me. I'm selfish and bitter and angry and wrong, and I don't even care. Well, having a family, it shuts all that off. I mean, you can't be a family person and be a jerk. You can't be a family person and be, come up with some words there. Don't say them, but just you know what I'm talking about. Someone who's just always dishing out the negative, always the Debbie Downer, always the... People can't live with that. People don't want to live with the negativity and the craziness. No. That's not the way to live life. That's not the way the Lord wants to. Lord said, He said all the things were good in the garden. He said, this is good and that's good. And look at the rattlesnake. And look at the spiders. And look at all the coyotes and the hyenas. And look at that giraffe. It's all good. Yeah. And if something ain't so good, it's not good that man be alone. So... I suffered through the last, after 8, I got through the 8 to 10. I got through that. I got this just weeping, sobbing, crying, dying, horrible death sentence of a label from our wonderful justice system, and this label, it's scary. I don't like it one bit. I hate it. It's horrible. It's wrong. It's an injustice. It's the bitter end. I know all that, but I've also learned and grown and overcome and become a man who is not going to let that label hold me down. I got to hold me down. Go back. Just rewind. Go back and take a look. For the last year and a half, nearly 2 years now, I've been openly sharing my life on this thing called YouTube. Pasadena Nevada Devotional. Now it's Bob's Daily Devo, but I share in a tweet, I share in a small promo video, I share in a written Devo, I share in an audio Devo, and of course I've got the YouTube. So I got the 5 different fingers of just different ways to share and open up my life. I give people the number every single day. When's the last time that you called me? Did you ever call me? Have you ever dialed the phone? And who's dialing the phone? Okay, so did you ever call Bob? I'm in your contacts, obviously, because if I'm not in your contacts, add me in. It's 213-713-8954, 8954green@att.net's the email. On the Twitter, it's Mr. Bob at BobBob8954, and of course, so you've got all my contact information. I'm not hiding. I'm right here. It's funny because the last camper to leave the Costa del Green was all about privacy. I gotta have privacy. Curtains, walls, locks. Oh my God, I'm so scared. Just like I live in that same room, doors wide open, no curtains, nothing. And no, I'm not an exhibitionist, but there's an old saying that you would worry a lot less about what other people thought of you if you realized how little they do. Nobody cared about me. Once in a while, somebody, hey Bob, oh hi. Once in a while. I mean, it wasn't like there was a wagon train going through, Looking on the side, there's the old walrus called Bob. Everybody look, get your cameras. Let's take pictures. No one was doing that. Nobody really cared. And the guy standing in the same room and he's like freaking out. I mean, and so that tells you something. That tells you something. Judah Smith, the pastor of City Church, I've been learning a lot about him. Not Joaquin Phoenix, but the pastor from, now I'm blanking out here, I should have written it down. But the pastor from the New York City Church, he started all the Hillsongs here in LA, or in the United States. Matthew Barnett, Tommy Barnett, the Assemblies of God, the Foursquare. It's all kind of coming around here. And we're all family. And it breaks my heart when a family member wants to, what is that? That's not family. Family has a conversation. Family sits down at the table and says, look, Joey, you've been taking these cookies long enough. You cannot keep taking the cookies. In my family, where I am, we have a couple of campers out there at the ranch, and one member of the family keeps eating up all the lasagna and all the goodies, and so I'm like, we're just like, hey, brother, sister, you can't do that. If you see something in the microwave, it's not free game. Just, eat it up. No, it belongs to somebody. Find out. Don't just eat it up. That's what family does. Family takes care of each other. So after the Christ of 10, a year or two went by, and then my wife just fell apart. She just fell apart. It was just too much for her. All of the pressures were just too much. And it was crazy because I was the one really with, all right, you got it, stamp him, get him. And I got this horrible, horrible label on my life, but it didn't slow me down. I have learned over the last many years how to navigate through. And I loved it today because the Today Show, they had a I love how they're making this construction. This is so cool. What they do now is they put these big pillars all the way down, and I'll show you real quick. And then they're shaving it down a little bit at a time. They just keep shaving it off, and then they concrete it in, and they shave it off, and they concrete it in. So, it's kind of cool how they're doing that. But I didn't let it stop me. I just kept moving forward. And I just found that my family in Christ, my family in my blood family, other than my ex-wife who took off, she dove into a lot of addiction and a lot of compulsion and looking for love and I got to be happy and here I was home tending to the children, getting to school. We all brushed our teeth together. We'd go to sleep, in our little cabin. And we were in that same cabin until about October. And, my family we had like a family bed even. Just people you sleep over there, I'm over here. We had a giant king-size bed. So people could just have their own little spot, And the family they wanted to be together. And I'm leaving. I'm going over here to this. And then, 11:30, Papa, can I come back? We were traumatized. And the family means so much to us. And I feel as though now, even I'm in this cave season. It's a season of the cave. I've got the beard to prove it. I've become a caveman. And unlike David, who was in the cave, I'm pretty sure I'm right on that. If I'm not, correct me. But just like David, who was in that cave, I'm encouraging myself in the Lord. And I'm sharing my encouragement and I'm sharing my thoughts with you, my viewers and listeners. I went last night with my family and with an extended family out in Moreno Valley to a service where presence of God was just, people were just falling in the Spirit. People were laughing in the Spirit. People were being healed. I saw a young man anointed for service, and Benny Hinn had anointed this man that was there last night with his family, and he was serving and ministering. And this guy was a tiger, man. He was on the chairs, going back and forth. He was, bring him over here, and then, you know, and people, the staff was running around with those little blankets. I just thought, wow, we're back to 1940 here with the Azusa Street revival, and that happened. I know they have. Don't correct me. I know it happened before that, but Amy Simple and Catherine Kuhlman and all of the healing ministries and the evangelists, they had the little blankets they put over people as they fell on the floor, and the Lord touched them. The camera right in front of me, touch, boom, done, gone. I just thought, wow, the awe of God. I heard Judah say this morning that he was in an interview. He said that in an answer to a question, what do you do? What's the best way to get out of the fear? And he said the awe of God, worship of God. And I didn't necessarily, at some points I just thought, this is a little over the top, this is a little much, you know, I got a little distracted. But then the overall tone of it, I thought, this is God, this is God, this is God. This is definitely the Lord. The Lord is moving in this place. We got done, and the guy had a giant sweat stain of a heart on his chest. It was like it filled up his whole belly, and then it was exactly the shape of a heart. It was like, wow, that was a miracle. And he was just laughing, and the pastor of this little church I went to, he was just the shortest little guy. He must have been 5'6" maybe. Just neat as a pin, haircut just right, neat little shirt. I mean, just the most quiet, meek, mild little man you ever saw in your life. The opposite of the evangelist. He was just like, you know, he was a nondescript man that if you went through a crowd, you'd never see him. He would disappear in a crowd. But he was the pastor of that church. He's the pastor of the church. And the family of God. That's why it's so important that we get together in the house of God, because we have family. When I get done with this Devo, I'm going to call my family. I've got a pastor I can call. I got a sister I can call. I got another brother I'm going to call. I'm going to call my family. And while I'm in this cave, unlike David, I can reach out to my family. I can get together with my family. I can reach out. And believe me, I am working with all my heart, my soul, my mind, my strength to get back home. And so that man that thinks he's Mr. Hotshot, I'm the hotshot. I'm going to protect, you know, Mr. Bob's going to sue everybody. I never sued anybody in my life. I'm not going to sue anybody. I'll tell you right up front. Look, I'm not going to sue anybody. I'm not going to sue anybody. I'd rather lose everything and have my Lord than to, what am I going to sue for? I mean, I've lost everything already. I've given up. I'm done. I make you this promise. I'm not suing anybody. Not going to happen. So the knucklehead that said he's gonna sue. You're nuts. I mean, literally, cuckoo, cuckoo, cuckoo. You know, and I'm not naming anybody, so you know, but you know who you are. I mean, you're listening to the devil. The devil comes to steal, kill, and destroy. And God has really, really, really huge things for this man to do. And I mentioned earlier that the Today Show, they were talking about, and it's on a need-to-know basis. And if you don't need to know, we're not going to tell you, and we won't confirm or deny that we're going to. And they were just like totally, they're keeping everything right. And I thought that was awesome. I thought, well, yeah, that's exactly what I say. You know, people want to know a bunch of personal stuff about me when it's on. I've already told everybody needs to know. Nobody else needs to know. I don't need to be going out trumpeting, and I'm 60 years old, for the crying out loud. I'm 60 years old here in a few months. I don't have time to go over 60 years. Well, you know, when I was a little boy, I did this. And then when I was 12, I did that. And then when I was 13, if I just took, it would take an hour just to cover, you know, just one sin for each year of my life. It would take an hour. Well, that's not good enough. There's 24 hours in a day. We want 24 times 60. Let's do the math, mister. No, but 60 minutes in an hour. So I want to know every minute what you've been doing. I want to know. Well, guess what? That's not what family is all about. Family is about love and grace and kindness and loving Jesus. And I'm so glad today that you and I are family. I'm glad that you understand my heart. I love the Lord. I worship the Lord. I love you, Lord. And I praise your name. I think this might be a 2 Devo day. I'm going to come back right in just 1 minute. Stay tuned. Be right back. Love you. Love you.